Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Hopefully you will have seen my blog hop participation this week. I take part in a global blog hop, and if you look back on my videos you'll see that we were all using tags. And I also linked all the other ladies that are part of the blog hop, so hopefully you've had time to look at theirs as well. Now this tag set, I explained how to use it in my first video, and these next videos I'm showing you some of the items I made. I didn't only make tags, I made lots of 3D things with them. I made like a little pumpkin for giving Halloween sweets in. I made a card, I've made a shaker card, and I've made different tags as well. And I'm just spending some time to show you what I made. I couldn't show you on the main video because otherwise it would just have been too long. Now this time on the set I'm using the Valentine's set, and if you haven't seen my other video I'll just quickly show you the stamps. These are photopolymer stamps, which means they're clear, you can see through them, but they don't have much cushioning. So if you're going to stamp with them, make sure you have something like your Stampin' Up catalogue that you can rest on, or one of our stamping mats. Let me just show you the one of these, because it's made of foam. It's got just that little bit of give, and it gives you a better impression from the stamping. And you'll see as well that the stamps, it's 3 individual stamps, but they're all on the same piece of photopolymer, and that makes it easy for if you want to do a bulk lot of stamps. So you can stamp, and you're stamping 3 stamps at a time, and then there's a die set that goes with it, and the die cuts, I love this one with the stitching round, but the die cuts cut all 3 out as well. So you've only got to go once through your die cut machine, once for stamping and once through your die cut machine, and you've already got 3 tags. And there are also these little pieces, little Halloween, jack-o'-lanterns, snowflakes and hearts. And I've been using these as embellishments, but I really love them as confetti for shaker cards. So this is what we're going to do today. Let me pop these away and tell you what we need. Now, I've already done a lot of the basic stamping because otherwise, again, this would be a long video. Now, the tag that I made is made with the leftover circle from the front of this card. So I will show you, as I'm making the card, I will show you the pieces that you need for that too. So to start off with, I'm using Flirty Flamingo, and you could use any pink at all. It would be beautiful in red, but I wanted to use Flirty Flamingo, and I stamped onto the Flirty Flamingo for some of my tags, but I didn't want to use that for the inside of the card, for the inside of the shaker part. I did use it on this tag. You'll see it stamps really nicely onto colour as well, but I didn't want to use that in the card. I wanted to stamp black onto Whisper White. It would be pretty too in one of the new metallic inks. If you stamped in the gold or the silver or the copper, that would look nice. But this is our basic card, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of Whisper White, and that's for the inside. Let's attach that while we're here. And that is 5 1/4 by 4. So it's just 1/4 inch smaller, and it gives you that nice little border all the way around. Okay, so that's our inside. Now for the outside, we're going to need our base of basic black, and this is exactly the same as the inside piece. It's 5 1/4 by 4, and we can start by attaching that. Oop. Doesn't matter which adhesive you use to attach these, even if you wanted to use tear and tape. As long as the cardstock is adhered. It doesn't matter how you've done it. Okay. Now we're going to put this piece aside for a moment because we don't need this for a little while. We're going to make the shaker part. And to do that, I had a piece of Whisper White cut at 3 3/4 by 5, and I ran it through the embossing folder, the So Subtles one, and it really is subtle. It's tricky to see. So hopefully you can see it there. Let me check to see if it's picking it up in the camera. Yeah, I think you can just see it. Okay. And then I got the largest of the stitched circles, popped it on the top, ran it back through the big shot and cut this out. Use any die cutting machine that you have. Save this because it's the piece we used for the tag. So you now have your window ready for your shaker part. Turn it over because we're going to work on the back. And you need a piece of window sheet, a bit dusty there, a piece of window sheet, and this is cut at 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and I'm going to attach it to the back of the window aperture here. And I always just use my glue dots because it means I can see where the glue is and it's really easy to attach. You haven't got wet glue squeezing out and squishing all over. This makes it really easy. And you just cover the aperture. Okay, so you can see it's not glued down all the way, but it doesn't need to be. Now next, I'm going to use some of our foam adhesive strips. I love these because they're long. You don't need to join lots of pieces. The only thing that makes it difficult is the fact that we've got a circle. If it was a square or a rectangle, it's easy. But circles and ovals take just a little bit more time. So I'm going to take one of these off, peel it away from the backing, and starting about 1/4 inch in from the edge of the circle, I'm just going to go round and follow the circle. It will start to bend and sometimes the backing paper will come off. Don't worry about that. Keep it on as best you can. Try not to go too near the edge, otherwise sometimes it means you can see it from the front. Now, I've deliberately chosen this size circle to show you it doesn't go all the way across. The foam strip isn't quite long enough. So all you do is you just roughly measure. Okay, I need about 1.5 inches. I'll cut that piece off. So take it off and you just join it in. Try not to leave any gap because you don't want any of your little pieces of confetti to escape. And sometimes if you're using glitter inside, that's the places where the confetti will escape. I always try and make it so that any extra pieces I've had to add in are at the top. When you hold your card up, gravity means that all the pieces are going to fall down to the bottom. So if your join is at the top, they've got even less chance of falling out. Now sometimes as well you can feel that it's a little bit sticky on the sides, and the thing to do is just get your embossing buddy. Just dab round on the inside, and it just means that any stickiness from that foam strip will be gone, and it means that the confetti isn't sticking to the side of the foam strip. Okay. And now I have another piece of Whisper White, and this was cut at, what size did I cut this? 3 3/4 by 3 7/8. Okay, and I just stamped the one image in the middle. Now to do this, what I did, let me just get a little piece of scrap. I put a scrap piece up there, and I didn't ink all of the stamp up. I only inked this part, but just in case I had any on the bottom here, I put that little piece of scrap over, and then I stamped right in the middle of my piece of card. And with the, oops, this little die, I cut out some gold card, and I decided I wanted to put a gold piece right in the middle there. It's just the exact same size. So I'm only going to add it with a glue dot, just like that. And what I also like to do when I do shaker cards, just in case all of the shaker bits fall down to the bottom, I like to glue a few pieces in strategic places so that you can still see the confetti. And I know not everybody does, but I just like to be able to see some of the bits. So I'm just putting, with a glue dot, I'm just putting a few bits on. Let's find a few small pieces. The die itself cuts out three, oh, I don't want it over the writing, 3 different shapes. And I just need to move that down because otherwise we won't see the writing there. It cuts out a solid heart, the outline, and then a small heart. So that means you've got lots of different choices. And I cut some in vellum, I cut some in some scrap flirty flamingo, and I cut some in gold. Let's have another little flirty flamingo on there. I don't suggest that you put the vellum ones on and stick them on because you can see the glue dots through the vellum. Now, that's all I'm putting on, just those, so that you can actually see that there are some pieces of confetti in there. Okay, now let's go back to our window. I'm going to put in pieces of our cutouts. There's the vellum and some of the flirty flamingo. With the gold ones, just make sure you've got them face down so that you can see from the front that they're gold. They won't have enough room to turn over, and we want to know that there are little gold pieces in there. Just going to put these little ones in. And you don't need too much. You don't want to fill it so full that they don't shake. And you can see, because I've already gone round with the embossing buddy, the sides are not very static either. So it means that you don't have to worry that the little pieces are sticking to the side or that they're jumping out when you try to add them. Okay, that's as much as I'm going to put in right now. And I'm going to take the top off, little top paper off from there. And then this piece, we're going to put face down onto the sticky and use the window sheet as your template to know roughly sort of what square and where the middle is. It's going to be roughly the same size. And turn it over and have a look. See if you like it. If you don't, you can carefully peel this back off, add a few more pieces, take some out, whatever you need to do. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that one. Okay, so let's go back to our card base. To attach this to here, I'm going to use more of these strips. And just get a little bit more out. And I'm going to put 2 pieces here, just across the bottom there. Don't make it go right to the edge, because otherwise you will see that from the bottom of the card. As you look at the card, you'll be able to see there's a bit sticking out, or it won't look quite so nice. Now, I know not everybody makes shaker cards the same. This is my method that I find the easiest for me. Put a little bit more. Now we're going to put one at the top here. Get rid of that. It doesn't need to be right on the edge. Okay, and I've got a little piece left. I don't really need it to do anything, but I'm just going to stick it in there. Now some people will put the foam down these sides as well, but honestly, because we've made our card piece here quite big, I don't think you need it. I do think you need adhesive on here. You can either use tear tape or you can use snail. I'm just using my favourite little fast fuse, even though we don't sell it anymore. I'm just going to check that I've got all the pieces off. Yep. Then bring back the front. And I'm just going to offer it up, try and get it centred on the black layer. There. Now nothing's going to fall out. You can't see lots of tape unless you look down the sides like this. You can't see lots of tape sticking out, looking ugly or anything. And the last thing we're going to do is just put a little sentiment on. Now, because the writing in here was all in capitals, what I wanted to do was find a sentiment that was sort of masculine and was in capitals as well. And I've chosen this one, From a Good Man. You could use a happy anniversary one. You could make a bigger sentiment than I'm making. Choose whatever works for you. What I did was I stamped the For You onto Whisper White and I cut it out with this punch. You know how much I love this one. I use it a lot. So I cut it out with this, and then I cut a piece of Flirty Flamingo as well, and I just offset it. You can tell from the back. I just offset it so that you could see the pink and you could still see the white, and it gave me quite a wide sentiment. And then I attached one of the solid gold, one of the Flirty Flamingo outlines, and I'm just going to put some gold thread on. Now let me just see where my dimensionals are, because I will need that as well. I'm going to put a dimensional over here where that heart is, and I'm going to put another one over here, and I might even put another one over here. Okay, I'm going to take the backs off, and then I'm going to do my gold thread. Now I've still got a little piece of gold thread on here, which I think was from a paper pumpkin, and that's what I've been using up. But Stampin' Up sell really big bobbins of this. Okay, and what I do to make them, I put my gold thread on top of my fingers and I go around my 2 fingers 3 times, and then I put 3 fingers there and open them slightly, and I go around that 3 times. Oh, what a good measure that was. Okay, and then where they're all together on the top of my fingers, I just gather that a little bit and I stick it on one of my dimensionals, and then I know that that's attached. I don't worry about the rest of them until I'm at the card, and then I might move a couple of them over. I might make them stick onto the other dimensionals. Whatever I feel is looking good at that time. But I never try to do something symmetrical, or it's never the same twice. Okay. Once I've got them stuck on there, I know that my thread isn't going to move and it's just going to stay there for me. Okay. Now, you see, like this piece is long. If you think, well, I don't want it that long, just take it in. Make a little adjustment. There, stick it back. It really is an easy way to be able to add that gold thread. And there you are. There's my second shaker card. Once you've got your pieces cut, it doesn't take too long. You see what I mean about the gold thread? See, never the same twice. And then what I did with the tag, it was this piece that we cut from the middle. I used my hole punch just to punch a little hole here, and then when I was printing on the pink paper, this is the piece I cut out, and then I put the die just onto gold card, put it back in, and I just put that at the back of it, and it makes this sort of cross shape. And I used one of the bigger die cut gold hearts, and a bit more of this gold thread, and then I attach that with dimensionals. And I think that makes a nice little tag that if you're giving a gift as well with the card, it just matches. There we are. So there we are. That's an easy way to make a shaker card using just the die set and the stamps from Tags, Tags, Tags. No special sequins, no having to buy anything different or anything extra. Literally just whatever you have in this set. So thank you for watching, everybody. Keep tuned for my other videos. There is a set of 4. There's the blog that I did, and then there's a Christmas card, there's this Valentine's card, and there are a set of tags. Thanks ever so much, everybody. I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.